live. We're live. Hello, everybody. It's your coach here, Angie B, and I'm coming to you live from my beautiful home here in South Florida. Okay, I'm home with my beautiful children. And we're all here together, just handling all the things. My kids homeschool. If you're a homeschooling mom, let me know down below. I want to know how many of my people are homeschoolers. Okay, let me know down below. As you guys are hopping on, though, can you please let me know where my beautiful face is gracing your page, and go right ahead. And I know that I'm also streaming live on my personal page. I'm streaming live in my health coaching group. I am in all the best places right now. So y'all know, I know where you're from if you're in my health coaching group, but you know how it goes. You guys love you some Angie B, okay? You guys love you some Angie B. Today, I wanted to talk about something that maybe we all go through it, okay? Have you ever needed to just make a decision, right? And more times than not, what depending on the question, right, or the situation, right, we tend to like fall on I think some of us, well, what would you say you gravitate to more? Okay, do you have a tendency to gravitate to being more positive minded around questions or even situations? Okay, or do you have a tendency to be more negatively minded? Okay, like for instance, your friend makes a decision, she wants to go join the military, and she says, "Come along with me," right? Where's your mindset around that? Are you going to the military with her because yeah, she's my G, I'm good? Or are you like, I don't know, me fighting for the country and being front lines and all the things, I don't know if I can pull, do a thing like that, right? Right? Now, question this. Where is that decision really coming from when you ask yourself that, right? So whenever you're asking yourself a decision and you have a tendency of overthinking, that overthinking comes from a place, okay? It may have come from a past traumatic thing that you've been through, right? Or maybe you just don't know enough about it to really make a true full circle decision. Okay. So I'm reading right now by Ryan Holiday, Ego is the Enemy. How many of you guys are readers out there? Let me know in the comments. I want to know how many of my friends read. Okay. How many of you guys read? Let me know in the comments. And I want to read from Ryan's book, his intro. I'm going to read Ryan's intro. What's up, Quibby? Hey, that's awesome. I love it that you read. That is great. So I'm going to read. Have you read? I want to know how many of you guys have actually read Ego is the Enemy. I want to know this. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, please. Okay. So he's quoting Mr. Feynman. All right. The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool. Ain't that facts? Like, isn't that facts though? Like for real though. Like, we know we get red flags from people when we first meet them, right? But we do tell ourselves the lies that we need to so we can just like continue with all the things. Okay. Let's just be real. Okay. So this is the intro to Mr. Ryan Holiday's book. Maybe you're young and brimming with ambition. Who's young and brimming with ambition? I am. I'm young. Okay, I am young. I wasn't here when Jesus was, so I am young. I'm a baby. Okay, that is what I'm gonna call myself for the rest of my life. Okay, I am a baby. Okay, I'm not struggling, but it's all the things. So maybe you're young and brimming with ambition. Maybe you're young and you're struggling. Okay, maybe, just maybe, you've made the first couple million, signed your first deal, been selected to some elite group, or maybe you're already accomplished enough to last a lifetime. Okay? Maybe you're stunned to find out how empty it is at the top. Maybe you're charged with leading others through a crisis. That actually used to bring fear in me. The fear, some of us have a fear of leadership because we just are afraid to let people down, right? Let me know if you're like that as a leader. Okay. Maybe you just got fired. All right. Anybody lost a job before or quit? Okay. You fired your job. Maybe you just hit rock bottom. Any of us have experienced rock bottom? Do you know what that feels like? Have you ever experienced that for yourself? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, your worst enemy already lives inside you. Your ego. That's powerful. That's powerful. I love how he touches the ego. So first you think, not me, you think, right? Not me. When I said that, did you say that? Did you say that to yourself? Like, Angie, not me. I don't, me? No. What is that? What is that TikTok that they do? No, am I the problem? I'm not the problem. Okay, your ego is. I'm gonna let you know. No one would ever call me an egomaniac. Perhaps, maybe, okay. Perhaps you've always thought of yourself as a pretty balanced person, right? But for people with ambitions, talents, drives, and potential to fulfill, ego comes with the territory. Ain't that the truth? Okay, ain't that the truth? So, where I just lost it. Okay, so precisely what makes us so promising as thinkers, doers, creatives, and entrepreneurs, what drives us to the top of those fields makes us vulnerable to this darker side of the psyche. Now, can I ask you guys a question? Do you guys feel like ego is darkness? I would like to know, do you agree with what Ryan just said? Do you think that the ego is darkness? So now this is not a book about ego. Okay. He's just, he's just saying that in the Freudian sense. Okay. If you've read anything by Freud, okay, you would understand what he's talking about. Okay. So Freud was fond of explaining the ego by way of analogy. Our ego was the rider on a horse with our unconscious drives representing the animal, while the ego tried to direct them. Okay. Modern psychologists, on the other hand, use the word egotist, right, to refer to someone dangerously focused on themselves and with disregard for anyone else. All these definitions are true enough, but of little value outside of a clinical setting. My bad. The ego we see most commonly goes by a more casual definition, an unhealthy belief in our own importance, arrogance. I know we probably called some people arrogant in the past, right? Self-centered ambition. That's the definition this book will use. Okay, so the book, Ego is the Enemy, will be a tone that talks about ego in the sense of arrogance and self-centeredness. Okay, self-centered ambition. Okay, it's that perpetual child inside every person, the one that chooses getting his or her way over anything or anyone else. That competitive spirit that can just tip over that whole tiptoe of a thing of maybe setting up something to trip some other people so they don't get ahead of you. That tone. Okay. All right. The need. Okay. I just want to make sure the ego we see most commonly goes by a more casual definition. Unhealthy. It's unhealthy. It's an unhealthy belief. The need to be better than, more than, recognized for, far past any reasonable utility. That's ego. Okay. That's ego. It's the sense of superiority and certainty that exceeds the bounds of confidence and talent. Okay? It's when the notion of ourselves and the world grows so inflated that it begins to distort the reality that surrounds us. When, as the football coach Bill Walsh explained, self confidence becomes arrogance, assertiveness becomes obstinacy, and self assurance becomes reckless abandon. This is the ego. As the writer Cyril Connolly warned, that sucks us down like the law of gravity. In this way, ego is the enemy of what you want and of what you have, of mastering a craft, of real creative insight, of working well with others, of building loyalty and support, of longevity, of repeating and retaining your success. It repulses advantages and opportunities. It's a magnet for enemies and errors. It is Scylla and Charybdis. Most of us aren't egomaniacs, but ego is there at the root of almost every conceivable problem and obstacle. From why we can't win to why we need to win all the time and at the expense of others. From why we don't have what we want to why having what we want doesn't seem to make us feel any better. I know I like this part because it addresses something very real. I don't know if any of you guys have ever gone through this to where you finally found success in something. I don't know what it is. It could be something that generated you money. It could be you finally getting to the body that you've been working on for so long. It could be cooking a meal and you turned out to actually make something better than someone else, but you let that thing get to your head and you start to downplay everyone else rather than so into everyone else what you've learned to make yourself even more magnificent. That's ego. Okay, so we don't usually see it this way. We think something else is to blame for our problems. Oh, we got to get owning these things, guys. Most often other people. It's a sad true story. We are, as the poet Lucretius put it a few thousand years ago, the proverbial sick man ignorant of the cause of his malady. Wow, that's crazy. My brain just, I don't know if that caught you. If you caught, I'm going to repeat that. Sick man ignorant of the cause of his malady. So in essence, you don't see what you're actually doing to yourself and others is actually really hurting you. That's powerful. Especially for successful people who can't see what ego prevents them from doing because all they can see is what they've already done. Right? So it's like, someone who used to live in the hood coming up and they forget where they come from. And it doesn't keep them humble, but they get so caught up in what they're doing that they start to now thumb down or look down upon other people that aren't doing what they're doing. That's what that just expressed. So especially from successful people who can't see what ego prevents them from doing because all they can see is what they've already done. Only fixated and focused on their own lane. Now, you should fixate and focus on your lane when it comes to achieving your personal goals. But when it comes to actually giving people access or raising them a level and helping them, you need to be divisive as to how you're going to give advice and maybe elevate other people around you and not tear them down, right? So with every ambition and goal we have, big or small, Ego is there undermining us on the very journey we put everything into pursuing. The pioneering CEO Harold Janine compared egoism to alcoholism. The egoist does not stumble about, knocking things off his desk. He does not stammer or drool. No, instead, he becomes more and more arrogant. And some people, not knowing what is underneath such an attitude, mistake his arrogance for a sense of power and self confidence. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. You know, one of the biggest things that I've always prayed for, I'm always praying for it. So, God, just keep me humble. It's just so important to remain humilitant, especially to me. You know, I like to stay in a space of always serving and giving to people, obviously with limitation, because there are people still who operate out of their own egos, right? So even if you're a person who is seeking success or who is successful and you do want to give, there are people out there from their own ego pockets who may need you, right? But because of their own ego pockets, they are so fixated on the things that you got, they don't see the value that you have in you, right? So you can't operate from a place of arrogance and expect to be revered and respected, right? It's much better to be humilitant and still go after those dreams. There's nothing wrong with going after those dreams. Okay. You could say they start to mistake that about themselves too, not realizing the disease they've contracted or that they're killing themselves with it. That's crazy. If ego is a voice that tells us we're better than we really are, we can say ego inhibits true success by preventing a direct and honest connection to the world around us. And that's why, guys, I have a sense of service now. And I'm so glad that I have been able to connect with a community that keeps me so grounded in that, you know, working from a place of heart and servitude and giving. So I would like to leave you guys with today's quick reading with this a thought. What is it that you can do today in service to others from something that you've learned that you could actually serve to someone else? I challenge you to do that today. All right. Let's beat the ego. Let's battle ego and fear, and let's go through this. If you guys really enjoy this and would like me to continue, maybe popping on with ego is the enemy, let me know. Shoot me a DM if you're here on TikTok, because this doesn't last any further than here. If you really enjoyed this, click that follow button. Okay, hit that follow button. Find me everywhere. My link is in the bio if you really want to connect with me. I'm everywhere. I'm on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere. If you found value and you really want to, you know, learn more, I do have this listed in my book list that I have linked in my bio. You're gonna have to go to the resources button in that link. You just click the resource button, other resources, and then you'll find my books. You'll have to go down that list and find the books, but it's there. I do have. I think I do. I should. It's on my Amazon pickup list book. If not, I'll put it on there today, or maybe I'll put it on my featured. So look at those both. I know right now for the featured, I have a recipe. But if you, I might put this down as a featured for the book. Okay, I'll put the link there so that you guys can just go and get it. But it's, you know, I'm always popping resources in my resource link in my bio. So click it. It may change every now and then. Sometimes it's a milkshake link. Sometimes it's a bit.ly link. Sometimes it's just a link. But rest assured, the same, you'll be able to access all the materials there. Okay. I'm your coach, Angie B. Again, if you enjoyed any bit of Ego is the Enemy, go ahead, get your book. Definitely. And if you enjoyed this today, go right ahead and say, I loved it in the comments. Drop me a red heart in the comments down below. And as you guys know, I'm here to serve. I want everyone who's connected to me to be enriched by us knowing each other in some capacity. Okay. Maybe in business, maybe in friendship, it may be in me just coaching you. Okay. Whatever the case may be, may it be a union that allows us to be better together. I'm your coach again, Angie B. If you really enjoyed this today, go right ahead and share with a friend. I love y'all. Have an amazing day.